Hey everybody, Jason Mallow in here. Superpower Portraits, portrait photographer extraordinaire. Look, at the end of the day, I believe that there is nothing more important than working with the right people and teams. Because with alignment comes truly astounding results. And so I've put together a little bit of a vision and values alignment guide to help you understand a little bit more about me, where I come from, what I believe in, who I work with best, how I get some of the results I get, and some of the thinking that drives the work that I do. My life has been a little bit unusual. I started out in theater. I skipped university, went into live theater, and I became obsessed with lighting design, staging, and performing. From there, I worked as a wilderness guide and an outdoor educator. I worked all over the world, and I was specifically hired for my soft skills. I was hired to teach communication, leadership, and team building. I was known as the one that can really bring people together. When that was done, I eventually moved here to Australia, where I decided I wanted to be a photographer. So I bought a camera, and here we are today. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense on paper, but a passion for self-expression and self-reflection, an unwavering self-belief, and probably blind optimism has gotten me quite far. Over the past 14 plus years, I've evolved into a highly specialized portrait photographer, creating world-class visual communication pieces for professionals on a global stage. The people that I tend to work with are at an inflection point in their lives, their business, or their career. Often a time of shifting identity, often not yet fully realized. There's a fundamental reimagining or redefining that's either just on the horizon or already in motion. I create expression that's tangible and tactile and real. It's an effortless, embodied expression of who you are and what you represent. I like to say that what I do is for people who are consciously evolving themselves personally and their businesses. People whose incredible success relies on an unwavering certainty and trust in closely curated relationships. I bring people playfully and unapologetically face to face with your own significance. Ultimately, I am crafting pure presence for the people who need it most. There's a quote I love by Arthur Schopenhauer. It says, "Talent is the marksman who hits a target which others cannot reach. Genius is the marksman who hits a target which others cannot even see." And I love that quote, mainly because my business is an art, and talent can only get you so far. Genius is what I'm always striving to find in myself and in the people that I'm working with. I'm trying to find something that no one has ever seen before. And that's why I love that quote. I'm completely obsessed with communication itself as an art form. How we communicate with the world is important, but who we truly believe we are and how we communicate that to ourselves is everything. My portrait sessions are a chance to explore and express a distinctly unique and physicalized expression of your deepest values and your highest ideals. And the best part is that you get to make a choice moment by moment. You express and reflect and critique and reiterate. It's this beautiful oscillating dance of self-expression and self-reflection over and over again. You know, we look at the screen and we go, does this identity serve me? If yes, then we refine that and personalize it until it's pure, effortless expression. And if not, then we tinker until we find a spark, a deeper, more relevant truth worth investigating. And then we go down that path. My sessions are an incredible chance to recommit to who we really are. And sometimes, more importantly, rediscover or reinforce who we are not. I'm not motivated by this flash in the pan fame or whatever you'd call the fast fashion profile building of influencers held in such high regard these days. There are plenty of photographers in that space. That's not where I'm needed. My entire career is based on working with professionals at the highest levels who experience the full spectrum of self-doubt and severe discomfort at the prospect of stepping in front of a camera. My process just acknowledges that fear and then moves right through it to a place of real transformation. Ultimately getting to a point where all of that uncertainty just fades away into the background. There's nothing more gratifying than watching my clients transition from, I hate this, to this actually isn't so bad, to can we just do a couple more? Over the course of just a few hours. It's absolutely magical to see. The things that really matter to me, the things that I really value are longevity and vision, you know, craftsmanship and a sustained, purposeful relevance and significance. My portraits are specifically created for honest moments of profound human connection. Because I know that once we make these images, they're only 50% complete. We only have so much control in the creation process because once they go out into the world where they're interpreted and processed through the hopes and fears and beliefs and biases of the audience, that's where the final bit of the creation happens. So rather than trying to be too prescriptive and really say something specific, I like to frame an experience where the viewer recognizes something deeper within themselves. And we create images that feel effortlessly relevant and meaningful, fully aligned, and full of substance. For me, success is creating these coherent images full of nuance where people appear to be lit from within, where they seem to jump through the screen or off the page. I'm always looking for that more 3D experience of the person that I'm working with. I ran across this really cool quote from this woman named Danielle Clayton. I don't actually know what she does or what her work is, but she said, we've been given the great privilege to create something that gives people a space to explore who they are. And I think that is just beautiful. That really sums up so much of what I value about my art and my business and what I'm able to create for other people. It's not just the images, it's this space where we can explore who we really are and what really matters. So yeah, there's some method behind the madness. Over the past 14 plus years, I have meticulously crafted and refined my process, really setting everyone up for success with unbelievably consistent results. It's incredibly precise and at the same time open to that serendipity, open to allowing something new or surprising to appear at any moment. The first thing I address is giving you permission to just suck at this. Setting expectations is the key here. You're not supposed to know what to do. You're not supposed to be good at a photo shoot. 99% of what we're going to create is pure rubbish. But what you have to understand is that we need all of those terrible photos to show us the right way forward. Basically, every terrible shot is celebrated for moving us closer to the end goal. Because by finding the stuff that doesn't work, we can see the right way to head, and that informs the directions we take. It's getting it real versus getting it right. Unfortunately, getting it right is where most photographers will stop. I see it all the time because these images, they usually they seem well executed, but they feel wooden or forced, and they often come across as tentative or uncertain and sometimes really insincere. In my sessions, right is just the beginning. We get the posture and the body language and the expression, and we figure it all out. We get it right. And then from there, we start to break it down. We breathe life into the postures and expressions. We create a series of moments where you flow from one to another. And it's oftentimes in those transitions where we find something really honest. And we only stop when it looks and feels effortlessly natural, because that's what people want more than ever. They want something honest. They want something real. And that's what we're looking to create. Look, there's one more quote that I want to share with you by a guy named John Green. He said, "You're so busy being you that you have no idea how utterly unprecedented you are." I just love this quote. I get to reflect back to people the stuff that matters most, the things that make us who we are. And we forget how special a lot of that is. The mosaic of all of the complexity that make each one of us up. It's amazing to work with. And I love to slowly unpack some of those things as we start to see it come up on camera and start to layer these beautifully complex, nuanced versions of how you express yourself. And it's just such a joy. I love my work because it is also an art. It's a craft. It's something that there's never any end to how far I can take this. And the discovery and the creative process with each person is so unique. It's so much its own thing every single time. Even if I put people in the same position and try to find the same expression, it's never going to be the same thing because we're all so different. And that's just one of the things that I love about this process so much. It's a constant process of discovery and self-discovery as well. I get just as much out of taking you through it as you get out of it coming out the other end. Hopefully that gives you some idea of what this process is all about, what I'm all about, who I love to work with, who loves to work with me, and how I get some of the greatest results for everyone that steps in front of my camera every single time. So if any of this resonates, I would love to chat, and I'll catch you soon. Thanks.